Welcome to video lecture on heat transfer. Myself Khushbu Shah, Assistant Professor in Chemical Engineering Department of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. In our previous session, in chapter Convection, we have seen different dimensionless numbers and its significance. Now in today's session, we will see a new topic, which is how to calculate heat transfer coefficient in pipes for laminar flow. So whenever such type of problems was given that calculate heat transfer coefficient for so and so situation, in that if you find that the flow is of laminar type, then we have to use this equation for calculation of heat transfer coefficient. Let's see what is that equation. So in heat transfer coefficient in pipes for particularly laminar flow, basically heat transfer to laminar flow may be encountered whenever the fluids to be heated or cooled are of viscous type or flow rates are low. As the flow is of laminar type, we know that the flow rates will be low. So in case where the fluids to be heated or cooled are of viscous type, right, having more viscosity, and flow rates are low, at that time we have to use particular equation for calculation of heat transfer coefficient. What is that equation? N is equal to 1.86 into bracket NRE into NPR into D by L whole raised to 1 by 3 into mu by mu W raised to 0.14. Now these dimensionless number we have already seen in our previous lecture, right? Nusselt number, Reynolds number, Prandtl number, Stanton number, like that. So here the equation N and U, which is Nusselt number, is equal to 1.86 into Reynolds number into Prandtl number into D by L whole raised to 1 by 3 into bracket mu by mu W raised to 0.14. So here N and U is Nusselt number, NRE is Reynolds number, NPR is Prandtl number, D is the diameter of the pipe, L is length of the pipe, and in another bracket we have written mu by mu W. Mu is the viscosity of fluid, bulk fluid, and mu W is the viscosity at wall temperature, right? Again I am repeating, mu is the viscosity at bulk fluid temperature and mu W is the viscosity at wall temperature. Both these data are given whenever we solve the numericals, right? So if this equation can be written as, see, I have written the formula of the dimensionless number. N and U is what? HD by K, which is equal to 1.86. NRE we have written du rho by mu, in place of NPR written Cp mu by K, D by L as it is whole raised to 1 by 3, mu by mu W raised to 0.14. This equation is known as Cedar-Tate equation, used to calculate heat transfer coefficient in case of laminar flow. So whenever we solve the problems, at that time first we have to calculate the Reynolds number. From Reynolds number we can know which is the type of flow, either it is laminar flow or turbulent flow. If the flow is laminar, at that time we have to use this equation, Cedar-Tate equation. So you have to remember this equation. This is empirical equation, there is no proof of that. So you have to remember this equation whenever we want to calculate heat transfer coefficient in case of laminar flow, we have to directly use this equation, Cedar-Tate equation, right? So this is about the calculation of heat transfer coefficient in case of laminar flow. Now let's see what about when we have to calculate heat transfer coefficient in case of turbulent flow. So let's see heat transfer coefficient in pipes in turbulent flow. In most of the situation in heat transfer problem, the heat flow in a stream of fluid in turbulent flow in pipes or tubes. In majority of the case, the type of the flow will be turbulent flow. So when the flow is turbulent flow, we have to use this equation. Nu is equal to 0.023 NRE raised to 0.8 and PR raised to n. Here n is constant value. So what is the value of that? See, n is equal to 0.4 when fluid is heated and n is equal to 0.3 when fluid is to be cooled. This thing you have to remember. This is the empirical equation. Nu is equal to 0.023 Re raised to 0.8 PR raised to n. N is constant value. And value of n will be 0.4 when fluid is to be heated. And n is equal to 0.3 when fluid is to be cooled. Right? So the final equation will be what? Nu is what? Hd by k is equal to 0.023, Nre is du rho by mu raised to 0.8 and Npr is Cp mu by k raised to n. And n is either 0.4 or 0.3. Right? This equation is known as Dittus-Boelter equation, which is used to calculate heat transfer coefficient in case of turbulent flow. Right? This equation is known as Dittus-Boelter equation. So you have to remember these two equations. Sidertate equation for laminar flow and Dittus-Boelter equation for turbulent flow. So when we solve the problems, first you have to calculate NRE, from that you come to know what is the type of the flow, and from that you have to decide that which equation is used to calculate the heat transfer coefficient. So this is about heat transfer coefficient in pipes for laminar flow and turbulent flow. Now what is about when the flow is in transition region? Then heat transfer coefficient in pipes for transition region is found by graphical method. But in very rare cases, the type of flow will be transition region. In most of the cases, you will find type of flow will be either laminar flow or turbulent flow. And we have to use these two equations, Sidertate and Dittus-Boelter. And it is very important. Now let's see another topic, Colburn analogy, which is also known as Colburn J factor. Basically, when NRE value is between 5000 to 2 lakhs, understand this thing, when NRE value is between 5000 to 2 lakhs, the friction factor F for smooth pipe is given by this equation. F is equals to 0.046 dg by mu whole raised to minus 0.2. When NRE is between 5000 to 2 lakhs, the friction factor F for smooth pipe is given by this equation. F is equal to 0.046 dg by mu raised to 0.2. Now when we compare this equation with our Dittus-Boelter equation, when we compare this equation with the Dittus-Boelter equation, you will get this value. H by Cpg Npr raised to 2 by 3 mu W by mu raised to 0.14, which is equal to F by 2. And that F by 2 is known as JH. And that equation is known as Colburn analogy. Right? Basically, analogy gives the similarity between two transfer processes. Analogy gives the similarity between two transfer processes. Right? So here we are comparing this equation for smooth pipe of friction factor with Dittus-Boelter equation. And when you compare these two equations, you will get this form of equation. H by Cpg Npr raised to 2 by 3 and mu W by mu raised to 0.14, which is equal to F by 2. And that F by 2 factor is known as JH factor. And this whole equation is known as Colburn analogy. Remember this analogy. Right? Let's see another analogy, which is the Reynolds analogy. In Reynolds analogy, taken some assumptions to find analogy between heat and momentum transport. As I have already told you that analogy is nothing but it gives the similarity between two transport processes. Reynolds analogy gives the analogy between heat and momentum transport. And Reynolds have taken some assumption to find the analogy between heat and momentum transport. Let's see what assumptions he has taken. The first assumption is gradients of dimensionless parameter at the wall are equal. Gradients of dimensionless parameter at the wall are equal. And second assumption is the diffusivity terms are equal. That means first assumption says that gradients of dimensionless parameter at wall are equal. That means the term which is mu w by mu. In Colburn analogy, what is the term mu w by mu? That term is equal. That means that term is cancelled out. And what is second assumption? Diffusivity terms are equal. Which term contains diffusivity? Prandtl number. If you remember the significance of Prandtl number, momentum diffusivity divided by thermal diffusivity. If the diffusivity terms are equal, that means that Cp mu by K term will be cancelled out, because momentum diffusivity divided by thermal diffusivity and that diffusivity terms are equal. That means the term Cp mu by K is equal. So when we apply these two assumptions, that means mu w by mu term and Cp mu by K, that is Prandtl number term, both terms will be cancelled out. So when we apply these two assumptions in Colburn equation, then we get Nst equal to F by 2. Nst is what? Cp mu by K. Cp mu, Nst is Stanton number, right? And Stanton number is what? H by rho Cp mu. So H by rho Cp mu is equal to F by 2, which is Reynolds analogy, as it gives the analogy between heat and momentum transport. So this is the second analogy, Reynolds analogy. Let's see next is the Prandtl analogy. Prandtl analogy is used in turbulent region. So in turbulent core, the transport is mainly due to eddies and it is near the wall. That is laminar sublayer. And the transport is by molecular diffusion. We have already studied these different region of layers in fluid flow operation. If you remember that the eddies creates near the wall, then laminar sublayer, viscous sublayer, buffer zone, that type of layer will create when the flow is turbulent type. Right? So in turbulent core, the transport is mainly by eddies, which is created near the wall, and that is due to laminar sublayer, and that transport is by molecular diffusion. From that, Prandtl created an analogy equation, which is Nst is equal to F by 2 divided by 1 plus 5 under root F by 2 into bracket Pr minus 1, that is Prandtl number minus 1. This is the empirical analogy equation. So you have to remember this equation directly. Right? Nst is equal to, that is Stanton number is equal to F by 2 upon 1 plus 5 under root F by 2 into bracket Prandtl number minus 1. So this is the Prandtl analogy. And the last is the Van Karman analogy. Van Karman analogy is modified from the Prandtl analogy. Though Prandtl analogy considered the laminar and turbulent sublayer, but did not consider buffer zone. Right? When Prandtl analogy is derived, it considered only laminar and turbulent sublayer, but did not consider the buffer zone. So that buffer zone is considered in Van Karman analogy. Thus, Van Karman included the buffer zone into Prandtl analogy to further improve the analogy equation. Right? So, Van Karman has modified the Prandtl analogy by including or by considering the buffer zone. Right? As Prandtl analogy did not consider the buffer zone, it only included the turbulent and laminar sublayer. So, Van Karman has modified the Prandtl analogy by including the buffer zone. So, in today's session we have seen how to calculate heat transfer coefficient in laminar and turbulent region, that is Sidertate equation and Dittus-Boelter equation, and we have seen the different analogy, Colburn analogy, Reynolds analogy, Prandtl analogy and Van Karman analogy. The analogies are very important and the Sidertate and Dittus-Boelter equations are useful in solving the numericals. Right? So I am completing this session here. I hope today's session is clear to all. Thank you.